All right. Well, hey, welcome back to the James and Jaden Real Estate Podcast, where we talk a little bit about real estate and whatever else comes up. How's it going, Jaden?
Doing great. How you doing?
Good. You kind of noticed that I'm the back screen is black where I'm sitting. I'm actually in the basement of our office. This is our new studio. This is going to be our new Home Guys studio that I can't wait to show everybody. I didn't want to do one today because I want our very first one of you. Well, it's not even ready, to be honest with you. It's going to be ready for us next week when you're in town, when we're going to be meeting with our team and talk about 2026. And so what we want to do today is talk about 2025, maybe some goals that we hit, and then what 2026 is going to look like. This is kind of a free-for-all today, Jaden. There is really nothing that we're going to like, hey, we have to talk about this. It's whatever you and I come up with. I want this to be a little bit more free of you and I. Just, I want people to understand how you and I sit there and talk. We talk, 2-3 times a day sometimes? We're on the phone all the time.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much every day.
Right. So this is what we do. We brainstorm. We're always talking back and forth with each other, brainstorming of our next great idea. So basically today, that's what we're going to talk about. I'll give you a little bit of a tease on our, dude, we got these awesome. Look at these mics.
Wow, fancy.
And I don't know if I need a mic at all, but these are really going to push my voice even further.
Just not necessary.
Hey now. Here, I'll give you a little quick tease over here. That's Home Guys sign. There it is.
There it is.
Okay, that's enough. But one of our biggest challenges, Jaden, right out of the gates, we need to come up with a name for our studio down here in the basement of North Branch. So just to let everybody know, we're actually in a basement of an old movie theater. We took the movie theater, bought it, refurbished, turned it into our office, and we're getting closer and closer to have everything 100% complete. So, you got a dungeon name? I mean, what kind of name did we come up with?
I was thinking we use a Bigfoot name, like Todd's Den, or Todd's Cave.
Todd's Den or Todd's Cave. That might be. So from Todd's, try to do an intro with it.
I have no idea. I just thought of this.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to go like, how do we put an intro?
Oh, how do we intro it on the
Home Guys from deep in Todd's Cave in North?
Yeah, I'm going to have ChatGPT will come up with a great intro for that. Actually,
okay.
I can do it right now if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. I actually, why not? All right, Brady. I know Brady's listening to this.
Keep talking, and I'll get you something here.
Yeah, Brady. I don't know if you want to pop back on really quick. What do you think a good studio name might be? Come on, Brady.
All right, I'm back. Studio name.
Right. So
I'm featured on the pod for the first time ever. Here we go. I'm on.
Well, you've been on before, haven't you?
No, I cut myself out because it was like we had to talk about background stuff.
Oh, hey everybody, guys!
Right.
This is Brady Sendelier. He's our guy putting everything together. You work closely with another person in our team, Maria, right?
Yep, sure do. Every day.
Want to give a quick marketing? Yeah, just give a quick background of what you've been doing.
Okay, well,
what you do for us.
I've been on the team for 3 months, coming up on 3 months now, which is crazy. Absolutely insane that it's gone this fast. I graduated from River Falls, was there for 5 years, did track, graduated with marketing communications degree. And then for Home Guys, I do more of the boots on the ground content production stuff, and then production of the podcast, and then help building out the studio that you guys will see next week. And then Maria is more of the dispersal of the content, putting it on Instagram, Facebook, that type of stuff.
Okay.
But in terms of the den, yeah, we can make something with Todd work here.
So maybe, and then we can just call it From the Den, and like deep in the forest, or down in the basement.
You're pretty much stealing what I'm going to send you here. I'm going to text it to you. It's pretty much what pretty much what I came up with.
From deep into the basement of North Branch.
There's
from
two options here.
woods.
Deep from the
From,
north.
from the depths of the Minnesota wilderness is how it starts.
Did it?
That is sent it to you.
Oh, you want me to read it out?
Well, sure. You're the radio guy.
Yeah, you get the radio voice here.
From the depths of Minnesota wilderness in the top secret basement bunker, also known as Todd's Cave, comes the only real estate podcast bold enough to let a Bigfoot near the microphone.
The second one was get ready for tall tales, bigger deals, and maybe a few hairy situations. This is the Home Guys podcast. Your behind-the-scenes look at buying houses, fixing problems, and finding opportunity where others just see a scary basement.
I like that one.
That's good too. Those are good.
Get ready for the tall tales, bigger deals, and maybe a few hairy situations. In this Home Guys podcast, your behind the scenes look at the buying houses, flipping problems, and finding opportunities where others just see a scary basement.
All right, we're gonna have to record like a real version of that on the good microphone there, because I can use that as a sound bit.
I think that.
So next week when we're all up there, we'll figure that out.
Jaden, send that to Brady also.
Okay, with the second one or the first one?
Well, just send that whole thing. I think
Whole
Just
thing?
send both of them, whatever. That's fine.
Okay, I'll text it to you.
Sounds great. But yeah, I like those. Are good. We can definitely make something work with those. But
Okay, Brady.
all right,
get the
unless
fuck
you
off
guys,
here. No, just kidding. Hey, Brady, thanks for again. You're part of this team. We're gonna have a. What am I trying to say? I'm mumbling here.
you get that. from me.
Hopefully, we're gonna see everything that you've been doing within the next 3 to 6 months, because that's when it's gonna start popping. I heard that we got a bunch more reviews, bunch more views now.
Yeah, Maria said that. I think it was your last week's podcast, or I think it was one about building your team. That one's up to like almost 1,000 views now on YouTube.
Wow.
So yeah, I think she just started that like 2 days ago with the promotion stuff. So it's quickly taking off there, which is cool. But there's still so much room to grow that I don't think we even know yet what the ceiling is on that type of stuff. So
Well, I think what's really cool about it too is giving our chance for our employees, Jaden. They're listening to our story, and I go up there and they're like, I know way more about you and Jaden now. That's pretty cool. And I'm like, okay.
From the
that's-
podcast, even?
Yeah, from the podcast. That was coming
Yeah.
from Tyler. Tyler thought it was pretty cool. Brady here, he's just having a better understanding of what we do just by how we're explaining it. So
Yeah.
well, right. And I tell you guys that all the time is that like I don't really have a real estate background at all. But even just learning more the terms, the vocab of the business, and then how we do business, and then how like my marketing stuff plays into all of that. Just listening to you guys babble about this day in and day out, I'm learning so much about it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So, well, hey Brady, thanks for doing this for us. You can probably pop back off again, and if you ever need anything, I'm sure I'll yell for you. So
Sounds good. I'll be here. Don't worry.
awesome. Thanks. Okay, Jaden. It sounds like we're gonna name it what? Bigfoot's Den, from the studio.
Yeah.
Bigfoot's Den.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think. And I going down the steps. As I want something that points down, that something that it makes it feel like Bigfoot's Den.
Yeah, we'll decorate it good.
Yeah, I think that's a really good theme. All right, so again, talking points today, Jaden. We're just talking about again 25. We made a lot of improvements. We got Bigfoot's Den. I mean, that was one of our improvements, right?
Yeah.
What are
Well,
the big things
the
that
den
happened?
and the upstairs too.
Well, right. I was just going to say, let's talk about that. Let's talk about all the successful things that we changed from 24 to 25. We moved up to North Branch permanently.
Yeah.
We got a new office. For those of you guys don't know, that we actually they're on Main Street here in North Branch, Minnesota. There's an old movie theater that somebody took and made offices out of for 30 years. And unfortunately, they stayed at an incline because, again, it was an old movie theater, right? And typically you have an incline so you can see over the next person's head. Well, we actually made that straight. And so then we put our offices back in here and refurbished and repurposed the building. You'll see some great new signage coming soon on the outside. What we wanted to do is give that old feeling of a small town movie theater. Even though it looks like a movie theater from the outside, it's obviously not a movie theater. It's Home Guys location. one of the things that we're going to put on there is what LED signage. We want to be part of the community. I encourage you to always be a part of somebody's community, because you're going to be accepted a lot better when you're part of the community, right, Jaden?
Yeah, I mean, you'll get more business that way, referrals. People get to know you, they trust you, they like you, they'll send business your way.
So we have another guy that does this stuff up in Pennsylvania, and he's the one that told me you got to get a sign. If you are on a main street, you have to have a sign. One of the things that he told us to do is put the dad joke of the day. He goes, you will get more response from a joke than you will. I mean, it's just, again, be part of the community. If little Timmy wants to invite little Susie to prom, stop by. I'm gonna hook you up. Go to have dinner or lunch across the street, and all of a sudden I can display, hey, will you go to homecoming with me? Whatever it is, that's what we want to do. We want to be part of this small town USA. So that was a huge change.
Yeah.
As far as staff kind of stayed the same, didn't it? Besides,
No, we grew. We grew the inside sales leads team. For sure, we grew that, right? Because I think we brought in 2 new people this year, didn't we? Both new this year to that team. Pretty sure.
yeah, I guess we hired 1 leads person. No, yes, 2 leads persons.
2. Yeah, 2 new leads people.
Two new leads person.
Yeah, and they both live up in that area, don't they? They both live up in the North Branch area.
Yes.
So we've actually, since we moved the office, we've found like a lot of our employees have been coming from the area around there, which I don't think we expected that.
We didn't expect that, and I don't think we expected to have that high of a quality even in our area. But what we're also getting is guys, we get a lot of, we're about an hour from the airport, you say? Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour. And a lot of times people, they work in the cities, but they live where we're at right now. And so we're actually feel very blessed that we got an accountant that he's a high quality accountant that could easily work in the cities, but doesn't want to. So he comes and works for us. And so that's pretty awesome. He's happy.
Yeah, those are the kind of people we struggled to get in. We were in Bloomington, which is right in the cities, like in the heart of the cities.
Right.
And it was hard for us to get people like that because you're competing with Fortune 500 companies there, Target Corporation and 3M and Cargill, and so these people with degrees and experience and things like accounting can go work at those companies. They don't need to work in a small company like ours. So this being up in North Branch, I think has been huge for us. I didn't think that would be a benefit to us, but it has been pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then apparently, if you're what am I trying to say here? If you're looking to get pregnant and you want to get a job, and that's how you're, let me start over.
Our entire leads team got pregnant. Well, no, not the whole team, but 2 of them.
Yeah, so then we had to hire another person, and I told that third person when we hired her that, hey, by the way, it's a pretty fertile seed here, so if you end up pregnant, hey, whatever.
Something in the water in North Branch, apparently.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. We have actually one of them is Madison, but she'll be moving into a dispositions position, and then we have the 2 great ladies that are been running the leads department on our side, and now it's going to be just the one person. I'll bring her on, probably Abby. She's great. Gemma doesn't want to be on TV because she's pregnant, and then Maddie doesn't want to be. So this is a good thing.
Yeah. So as far as people changes, so yeah, we found the office, I think in January or something, is within end of last year, we made a goal to try to find an office, which I think for every year we pretty much made that goal and haven't found one. And then you came across this old theater in North Branch. It was a really good deal. And it was kind of near where you lived already. So we just moved on it real quick. And after 7 years of wanting to get our own office, we finally made it happen. So that was nice.
Well,
and,
I also like that though, but you realize what we did, and I didn't even realize it. We took something old, we made it new again. It made it profitable.
Well, I realized it.
Well, I guess I did, but I guess
it's the perfect thing. It's the perfect office for our company to be in because it's what our company does.
Correct.
We repurpose old things that aren't being used and can't be used, and then make them modern, updated, so people can use them again.
Right.
Yeah. So it's worked out great. So the office has been really cool, and I think we'll save a little bit of money. not paying rent. It's not going to save us a ton of money, but we're going to, build equity over time, owning the building, and have a little tax write-off with it too. So that'll be nice. But personnel-wise, we grew the leads management team. We also, our financial controller accountant retired this year, which was a huge deal. She was with us for about 6 years, and critical job in the company, running the finances in a real estate investment company. It's really critical to get the books done right and on time and everything else, bills paid. So we were lucky enough to find somebody up in that area to be the accountant, financial controller for the company. So that was a huge change. So it wasn't like an addition; it was more just a replacement of somebody that was retiring. And then we just recently changed our construction manager, so we just brought him in.
We did hire one acquisitions person too.
We grew the acquisitions team by one person from the area also. And actually, our construction guy isn't necessarily from the area, but he's even further up north. So, we definitely probably wouldn't have gotten him if we were in Bloomington still, I'm guessing. He's still probably an hour north of where you're at, isn't he? Or 45 minutes?
Yeah, half hour, 45 minutes.
He's also west too. So,
but I mean, his job is not going to be as critical being on the scene.
he's out in the field. He's not in the office anyway, but.
Well, no, not even in the field. I mean, sometimes he actually is going to be in the office. He's going to work a lot of it from afar. He's
From his home office, not our.
Yeah, I guess the way, if I was going to explain it, it's more of a commercial project manager where they're not always boots on the ground. They do surprise visits. They have a schedule from start to finish, and exactly on this day is what's happening. And that's pre-planned 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. That's how good this guy is. So be kind of curious. In fact, this is him, and I'm going to have to take a minute to answer it because I'm going to do it live. So hold on here. Hey, what's happening?
I had to run here quick because there was a dumpster in the way, but they got it out of the way.
Gotcha. Hey, I'm actually on a podcast, and it was totally funny because, like I said, I told everybody that I was going to answer it no matter what because when you called. So you got something I can answer, and then I can get back to you later, or is it something you just kind of checking in? Or
I was just going to follow up with you on this one and what I kind of thought about it, but you can do your podcast and give me a call a little bit later. I'm going to see how far away I am from St. Paul. So.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All righty.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yep. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So I'm actually helping train in our new project manager. And like I said, it's going to be completely different than anything we've ever had before. This guy comes from the commercial space, Jaden, and it's all about making, keeping everything aligned. And it's definitely not me. There's no way I could ever have that job. I told him, I can only do about 4 or 5 jobs in my head, and I'm actually doing that right now. So it's kind of crazy. I wish I knew how to write stuff down. I mean, I've never been that way. That's the way my brain works, but
That's how you manage big things is writing them down and organizing.
Correct. Right. You have to have a checklist. You have a punch list. I mean, there's so many other things that you have. So sorry about that. But that was really.
So we were kind of just going over what changed this year, and that's a very recent change. He just started. Was it this week or
Monday.
last week?
Monday.
So that just happened, and he'll be a really huge benefit to the construction side of our business. We added a salesperson this year. I think Brady, the guy that's running this podcast, we brought him in this year just recently, the last couple months. We Maria was with our company. She's a full-time employee in Mexico. She was doing helping the dispo department, and she moved over to more marketing this year, I think, early this year.
Yep.
And then we brought in another full-time remote person in the Philippines that's helping our VP of revenue,
right.
Basically his assistant, essentially. Right, that's a new hire too.
Well, guess what we really forgot? We actually have 2 licensees that we signed up this year.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I guess technically San Antonio started last year, but they didn't hit
Very end of last
round until February 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, had a really good conversation with him. He's like, I'm 100% in, all in now. They're just they're. It was a good conversation I had right before we got on. I was on with him for about an hour, just talking through some of the situations that he comes through, and just letting him know that I'm still here if he needs help, to analyze the deal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
yeah, we picked up Orlando and San Antonio this year. We also hired a full-time transaction coordinator, which we never had before. We had Jen was doing that and a bunch of other stuff, and so that was this year, I think, wasn't it? Where Anna came in, or was that last year?
No, that was last year, and so it's so funny. We actually are looking for a transaction coordinator because now Anna is more of Jen's assistant, is what it really comes down to.
Right.
Anna's the new. Hold on, this is a better way. Anna is an extension of Jen. She's been prepping her up. I feel so bad because Jaden, if you remember right, she's always asked for somebody, right? She needed.
Well, yeah, for 7 years we're trying to get her an assistant.
Right,
but we got her a few.
We did, but then we stole them. We
Yeah.
stole them from them. We're like, they're going to be better at sales. We need somebody to do this,
Yeah.
And Jaden, the way everybody else out there, the way Jaden and I think is, if you're going to come on the company, you got to have revenue. How are you generating revenue? How are you generating revenue? So I know that's wrong, some way of thinking.
Not for a small business, it's not wrong.
Well,
that's how you stay in business.
Correct. But we were such on, and it was hard to explain to make sure everybody knew what we were doing, because you're right. You have to do that in small business, and you have to have the right timing when you're going to bring an assistant. So now you're going to have two people that are not bringing in revenue.
Right.
That's the issue.
So if you're going to bring somebody in that's not generating revenue, how are you paying for it is the question. You don't just go, I'm going to hire someone that's overhead. You also have I'm going to hire this person to do this, and we're going to do this other thing to pay for their salary.
Yep.
Because salary's got to come from somewhere,
Yeah. We probably should break that down even more. Again, you just said it perfect. You don't just hire somebody to hire somebody. You have to know where they're getting paid from.
Where's their paycheck coming from?
Yep.
Yep.
That's pretty huge. So now we're right at the end of October. We got 2 months, right? So this is the time that we're getting together next week with our team, and we're going to start planning 2026. You're like, well, wait a minute, James. We still got 2 more months left, of course. But up here in Minnesota, it starts to slow down big time because this white stuff starts falling from the sky, and everybody wants to hide and hibernate, right? So we'll stay active right up to probably December 30th, and then we'll go a couple months where no one wants to move or no one wants to do anything. And then it's a spring market. So it's middle of February, March, and then everything will start opening up again, and that's when everything sells. So we basically right now we're getting ready for our annual planning with our team.
Yeah, I think the early November is a good time to do it because it gives you time to have your meetings, get your plans figured out, and then if you need some time to structure the plans or
pivot,
if there's more work to do before you actually start the plan in January, you have some time to get those pieces in place. Maybe your plan is you got to hire someone to start the plan or whatever. You've got a little time to get that done before January 1st rolls around. But so yeah, we like to do early November. We've already been doing some planning. I mean, I've been up there twice already for planning type of stuff. So this is like my third time up there for this.
Right. You just like coming up, it.
Yeah, well, I do. But I mean, this year we've started earlier this year than usual, kind of trying to figure some of this stuff out. So, which is good. So hopefully we'll finalize it this time.
You might have to wear long pants this time and bring shoes with toes.
See if I have it. Well, you have my shoes, so I'm set there.
This is true. So, Jane, 2026, what are some of the things that are coming down the line that let's just talk about it. Again, sometimes let's just say that we talk about 100% of everything and we only maybe 60%, 70% lands the next year. Is that pretty?
Yeah, I'd say it's somewhere around 60% is probably a good year if we, make all these plans of everything we want to accomplish and we hit 60% by the end of the year. I'd say that's probably pretty typical. Maybe it's because we set too many goals for ourselves. I don't know. We don't ever hit 100% of them, I don't think.
As much as we have we probably need to think of another model going into 2026, right? Because I know going into 2025, we dumbed everything back down, right? It was KISS. Keep it simple, silly. Okay, stupid.
Well,
Whatever.
I think
You wanna do
next
that.
year is going to be really about construction. It's going to be a pretty heavy focus on construction next year. So I don't know if you want to come up with a slogan for that, but that's going to be what we're working on.
I'm thinking we just write construction,
Build it. It's going to be a build it year. So
right?
we're really getting good at construction next year. We're going to start. The goal is to build out a construction division. It's where we can start picking up other projects outside of the company. So we're going and doing work for other doing retail, commercial work, or other work for other investors, or whatever it might be.
Yep, that's a goal. One of our goals that we didn't hit this year, we were going to open up a brokerage, and it's still going to happen. It's just I think guys, there's been a lot. There's been a lot of moving parts here, and so again, we're just sharing with you guys. Like, I think every company sets all these goals or tries to reach them, and you set stretch goals.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was a stretch goal yet or not, but again, it is what it is. Let's get that brokerage going, because I think that's really gonna.
We're just gonna carry that goal forward. That I don't think that was a stretch goal. It was just we just had a lot of things to do this year, and that one just didn't happen. But we still need to do it, so that's just to carry forward to next year.
So that's definitely that's just carrying. That's
we kind of don't have a choice but to do that. We really need to get that done. So
Yep.
That will save us a lot of money. And just give us a lot more control over how we run the business and how we interact with the regulators and things like that.
Sure.
So that'll be huge. But yeah, that and I think the construction's gonna be a bigger effort next year. And then licensing, or now it's franchising. So we're actually converting to franchising, to a franchising system.
Hey, Jade, can you explain that one really quick of like, why did we get pushed over to franchising versus licensing and vice versa? Like, what's the advantage of, again, I was not at that meeting. So
yeah. So essentially with the way so the first attorney we met with, like, a few years ago, pushed us towards licensing and not franchising. Because it's simpler and cleaner, and we like simple and clean and easy. So we're like, yeah, that sounds great. So we did that, and we've done that for the first 3 licensees. We used a licensing model which is really simple and easy. So we met with another attorney, well, not attorney, but a consultant, and he kind of went through what we're doing, and he said, well, basically what you're doing is franchising. Essentially, there's like three rules of like 3 check boxes they look at for whether you're franchising or not, regardless of what you call it. And he's like, you're meeting all 3 check boxes. So you are franchising essentially. And because you are basically doing all the things that are considered franchising, you need to, go through all the hoops of franchising. So that's what we're doing, is we're going through the hoops of franchising. We had already done most of this work. We were 90% done with this work 3 years ago. And then we flipped over to this licensing model instead. But so we just called the company back that had done all the work for us, and we're updating the documents, and we're 95% there already. So that'll be ready to, by the end of November or December, that'll be totally finalized.
And so that's where you and I are jumping in more, right?
The cool thing is that we're working with this franchising is there's a whole industry around franchising. There's not really an industry around licensing. So this company we're working with is a franchising company. So there's a whole lot of infrastructure around, how to execute on these franchising plans. So how do you grow? How do you scale? How do you reach more people? How do you bring new people in? All this stuff. They've done this hundreds of times. So that'll be really helpful to have that in our back pocket. So far it's just been us, talking to people and just doing it totally on our own with no help at all. So I'm really looking forward to having some of that.
Which I think that was fine, and that just kind of proved concept that, wait a minute, we can do this super slow, or we can maybe boost it up a little bit. And that's what we're doing now.
This is going to be a little bit more accelerated. There's a little more effort put towards it, and we're going to have experts that know what they're doing helping us.
Right. Okay, so now we're jumping more into the franchise in 26. Let's let's just say how many licensees are from? I got to get that out of my head now. How many franchisees are we going to actually shoot for 2026?
I think our goal was to add 20 in 20
20?
next year. Yeah, that was our goal.
So I think we had like two a month, and then we just gave that grace period of
Yeah.
So 2024. That's right.
Right.
2024. That would be nice. That'd be really
2024. So that'll be, a lot of effort for sure. So that's where we're going to focus our time.
Sure. There's more now. So 2026. Obviously, it's going to be a big year. We want to come up with a slogan. Again, something maybe around construction. I'm just trying to think of what else are we looking at. We're already being a different kind of cash buyer. That we already implemented this year. I don't know what else are we going to add
Next year, 2026?
Yeah.
I mean, that's already a lot. Brokerage, construction, and licensing. That's a pretty much a full plate, I would say. But
I think right.
we probably are missing something, but I feel like that's plenty enough to do in 1 year. So if we are successful at those three things, that would be a very busy year.
That would be a pretty awesome year. I know that we're setting up for a pretty awesome year in 2026. We're probably going to carry a lot more properties, probably some of the most properties we've ever carried over winter. But besides that very first year when we did it and we totally didn't know what we were doing yet.
I was just going to say, I think the most properties we ever carried was the first 9 months of our business. There was 3 of us working there.
And we were also going, what the hell did we just do?
27 properties on the books.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that was pretty scary. But you know what? That's 9 years later, 10 years later. We're almost we're at that 9 year, 10 year. I know we always mess around with that because we almost went like 6 to 9 months with not really knowing what we were doing. We're just kind of helping out. So that's what I'm trying to figure out when we actually started the business and when we didn't.
Well, the LLC was formed in December of 2027. 2017, sorry. Obviously,
Correct.
Yeah.
17. But kind of, that was that July, but we were already doing it for like 9 months for helping, doing a bunch of stuff. I think.
Right.
So, because that's right. We went off of so we say 2017, but in reality.
So we were running under my business, my LLC.
Yes.
In 2016.
Yep. Okay. I totally remember that now. Gosh, it's amazing how fast that stuff goes by.
Yeah, we were Ascent Equity, and then we may have been Minnesota Home Guys doing business or doing a DBA for a little while. I don't remember if we opened the new LLC right away or not.
Mm-hmm. Guess I'm kind of a loss for what else to talk about right now. You got anything else you want to ask me?
So, yeah, let's think about 2025. I think if we talk about how we did this year, I think it was a pretty good year. There was good and bad with it. I think the year started off kind of rocky because 24 was a really bad year. And a lot of the carried. So we came into 25 with no headwind, no tailwind, no pipeline, very little pipeline. So we were rebuilding after a pretty bad year in 24. And we had to restructure the company in 24 and all these other things. So we're kind of starting a little bit, not from scratch, but we were a little behind in January. So we had to kind of build back the pipeline again. And the year has been good. We've been posting really huge months of signed deals. I mean, I don't know how many months in a row we've done this, quite a few months in a row where we've got over 500,000 of signed deals per month. And if we could just, that's been consistently going. This month will be the same, I think, or pretty close. So that all will lead into revenue next year. So a lot of the signed stuff that we sign now will generate profit from 6 months from now, or 9 months from now sometimes. So if we're flipping a property, it takes a while. So you can see that next year is going to be, the first half of next year will be really good, just based on what we've been doing. So that feels really good. But if you look at the actual, our actual financials of this year have been, I would say mediocre. because of everything we had coming into this year. We're just trying to rebuild a pipeline for next year. So we'll finish out the year doing okay, but it's not going to be a banner year on actual financials. And the next year should be. I think next year could be really, really good.
Right. One of the things that I can tell you that I know that was a success in 2025 than it was in 2024 was it's changing mindset, right? One of the things that we said, I told the team, we're never going to say we'll try, because once we say we'll try, it's almost like giving up. And I can tell everybody, with all the prices that we came up with for wholesaling, we're at a 92% success rate to dispose of that property.
So just to clarify, what do you mean when we say we'll try it? What it means is that a seller says, well, I really want $250 for this house, and our offer's at $210. And but last year we were going, well, we'll try to get you $250. Like that, no.
When we're in the business and we know we can't get $250,
we'll get you what we know we can get you, which is $210. We're not going to, and so we spent, I think that was maybe a big part of why 2024 was so terrible, was because that was going on so much. And so
trying to change that mentality of,
I don't know how we slipped into that, because we didn't used to do that.
Nope.
At some point, the team and the sales manager at the time all kind of slipped into this, we'll just try to get you the number you're asking for, regardless of what we know about the market in your house. And it just, it really was bad. It was really bad for the business.
So one of the things that I discovered in 2025, so what I do is I walk the properties after our acquisitions team gets them. And then I'll sit there and I'll spend a little bit of time talking to the seller. And I'll start asking questions about our acquisition team and what they're doing. We're killing it. If you give a shit, you're going to get the deal. I'm telling people that. That's a quick tip of the day. Give a shit. Sorry,
Yeah, so we always tell our sales team, your job is to connect with the seller, connect with them, and establish a relationship with them and rapport with them. That's more important than, you're not going in there to see the house and look at the deal and run the numbers, and that stuff's all secondary to building a relationship with the seller. If you can do that, then the numbers, all that stuff will happen later. But if you don't do that, then it doesn't matter what the numbers are, because they're not going to work with you, probably.
So what I started realizing, and I had to go back to my team and I had to tell them, hey, you guys are doing awesome, but trust the system, but you're giving even more money away. I know that sounds weird. Again, you guys we're business owners, we want to give a certain amount, and we're already giving a lot of value. So what you're doing is you're trying to teach your acquisitions, be a different kind of cash buyer, but you don't have to give the farm away. It's not always about the dollar amount. It's what are you going to do on the backside? Are you going to help me move? Are you going to give me some assistance? Are you going to give me, a pod so I can throw my, the stuff that I want to keep in the house? Maybe they need a hotel room. Maybe they're so disgusting. You guys, we've gone in houses that are so disgusting. I can't believe people live there. So be a different kind of person. So discovering that, knowing that, is trust your systems. And if you have systems, we have great systems, and we're willing to share those systems with you when you join our Home Guys USA. But if you care, you're going to get the job or get the deal.
That reminds me of actually this year, a big thing that we did this year was, and I believe it started this year, was the Be a Different Kind of Cash Buyer program. That started this year, didn't it?
I think we were always a different kind of cash buyer, because
when we officially started calling it that,
yes,
we made it into a thing that we're talking about, and I'm pretty sure our VP of Revenue, Paul, came up with this. I think he might have came up with the name of the Be a Different Kind of Cash Buyer, and he came up with an acronym, BAD TCB, and we talk about it all the time. So what does Be a Different Kind of Cash Buyer mean? It means don't just walk in there and throw down an offer and walk away and not help them, not build a relationship. That's what a lot of cash buyers do. They're looking at, there's the house, here's how much I can pay for it, because I need to make a profit, have a good day. That's the standard way to do this. So what we do is we go in there and try to build a relationship and find out what the seller needs. What do you need help with? Do you need help finding an assisted living facility to move into? Do you need help moving your stuff? Do you need help fixing things? Do you need some money up front for a deposit to move somewhere? Do you need help with a estate sale or probate or whatever, legal stuff? There's all kinds of things we can help with. And if you don't talk to them and have these, that rapport, it's hard to find that stuff out.
Right.
So if we can find some of this stuff out and find some things we can help them with, that it's not just a cash offer. It's, here's what we can do in your house, and here's what else we can do to help you in these other ways. And now you're going above and beyond what everybody else is doing.
Jaden, I think what everybody has to realize, these other wholesalers, is they're going through emotions, right? They're going through a death. People just don't wholesale their house for the hell of it, guys. Okay, they don't just call us. They're going through some kind of turmoil. Typically, it's a death. It's a divorce. It's a foreclosure. It's something that they're going in turmoil. So you got to go in there and treat it with respect, guys. People have bad luck all the time, and you don't need to rub it in. They need a number. They've had really great memories. They have 40 years of memories of weddings and birthday parties and, I'm going to say funerals. And that's that they remember everything. And now they're going to leave it all.
Yeah.
So,
and that actually reminds me of something a lot of people teach, like the coaches and stuff will teach frequently, like walk through the house with the person and point out all the problems of the house and all the stuff that's broken and needs fixed. And there is a place for that sometimes to do that if the seller is just off on their valuation, but you have to build trust with them before you can do that. Because if you walk through their home that they've spent the last 50 years with their family and all these memories and stuff, they have all these warm feelings to that home, and you start walking around with trash in the house because that's broken, that's going to cost 15 grand, et cetera, all this stuff, they're going to call somebody else. And we actually heard this just recently from somebody that worked with us. They said they went with us because the other company they called came out and just pointed out all the stuff they needed to fix and how much it was going to cost. And it's emotional to them to hear that.
very emotional.
That's their family home. Like, they don't want to hear about all the problems. That's kind of why they're calling you, because they know there's problems with the house and they don't really want to, they don't or can't deal with it. So you got to be, careful with how you do that and focus more on building the relationship and understanding that they have warm feelings towards their house and respecting that more than anything.
Right. They didn't do it on purpose, right? I mean, life took control, something else in their life happened because then they weren't able to do the repairs on their house. You can't go in just going, people are morons. And I mean, I'm sorry. There's a lot of emotions behind things that you don't know as the buyer, and you really have to be sensitive. You guys, otherwise, I know this has happened to us. It's not sensitive. They throw the keys at me. Just give me an offer. It's yours. That's telling me that they don't have any emotions. They want to be done. Everybody else, that doesn't happen very often, but that happens about 10%. I mean, we've had guys come into our office in Bloomington, drop the keys off and said, it's yours.
Yeah.
Let me know what you're going to give me.
Yeah. I mean, when we first got into this business, I always heard about this idea of these unwanted houses, like market for these unwanted houses. We don't come across very many unwanted houses. I mean, like I said, 10% maybe. There's usually other stuff going on there. It's not just that they don't want the house. They've got to move or whatever. There's other things going on. But yeah, having like a vacant house that's just causing somebody a problem that they just want out of their life,
right,
isn't that common that we've found.
Right. Yep. Tip of the day: just be kind. It's so easy because you're gonna get the deal if you have empathy when you're dealing with whoever you're dealing with. Be kind. They're going through a lot of stuff and a lot of emotions. Bring them something. I mean, we even being a different kind of cash buyer, right? Is bringing them, you're calling them ahead of time. Hey, I'm going to stop by and get coffee. You want coffee? Oh, yeah. You know how many times I brought people coffee at their house?
Do they say yes usually when you ask them that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had them.
That's a great tip.
Yeah. Just,
That's the interesting thing about that is I know, like, I've heard of people like just bringing cookies every time they go to a house. And I think that actually maybe doesn't work that well because they see that as a sales tactic. And which it is. I mean, it basically is a sales tactic. And I think it actually can have a counter effect on a lot of people where they're like, it's
right,
disingenuous because it's obvious that you just have a case of cookies in your car and you just bring them to every house. Where what you did is like, you're going out of your way. Hey, I'm going I was going to stop by Starbucks for myself, and I just thought, I'm coming to your house. Do you want me to grab you something? Like, it's completely different. So,
I mean, we're always stopping. I mean, it's, Starbucks is somehow the last 20 years.
that's a huge tip, though, man. That's huge. It allows you to connect with a seller before you even get to their house.
Well, Jaden, you should be doing that as a salesperson already, right? The way we call our people, we have our acquisitions talk to them. You guys, if an acquisition person comes up to me and says, I drove all the way out there and they weren't there, I'm not empathetic with them.
Whose fault is that?
Yeah, whose fault is that? That's your own fault. You didn't call them. You didn't set the stage. You didn't say, I'm going to be there at this time. I always tell everybody I'm going to call you within an hour of me being there just to make sure you're going to be there.
Right.
Because I surely don't want to drive out there.
Yeah, and if you end up driving out there, that's on you because you didn't confirm, you didn't verify.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all, and that's the time where you ask them. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just over here. You pick something out. By then, you should know them. You should have already talked to them a little bit. You should already know what they were already planning on doing that day because they're probably going to tell you, okay, hey, I got to meet over with my sister and talk about mom's house before I meet you at mom's house. Perfect. Now, the first thing out of my mouth is, hey, how was your sister? Did you guys get that talking, whatever you were, you guys, what you told me? I'm like, yeah, it just you got to remember little conversations. Here's another great tip. Remember the dog's name. Remember the dog's name. And then when you're writing up, make sure you say hello to Fluffy. Bring a dog with you to the sales.
Well, people really look to their dogs to judge other people, honestly. If their dog likes you, they're going to like you.
No, I don't know why I don't bring Farley more, but I used to bring Farley all the time in the very beginning. And everybody would always tell me, you can tell when somebody owns a dog and they bring them everywhere, they know that they're kind people. Because if they're willing to take care of something that can't really take care of them, yeah, they're kind people. And that's what we do. We take care of our dogs, but they can probably give us a lot of love back too. Right.
Right.
Yeah. That's the tip. Just remember their dog's name, put them in there, say hello to Scruffy. That goes a long ways. So again, Jaden, I'm super excited, I'm super excited about 2026.
Yeah, so am I. Got a lot to do.
We got a lot coming up with our podcast. We got a lot of stuff coming up with the new licensees. It's amazing how it's grown from 10 years ago when we started this thing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
We stopped in. We ate with some people that lend us money. Jen and I did on Tuesday night, and I don't know where I was going with this.
I think they said something like they're like, "Wow, you guys really know what you're doing." And this is from a company that it's a big lending company that does thousands of transactions. And so for them to be impressed with how we're operating our business that says a lot. They're in multiple states. They're not just in Minnesota.
Right.
They're actually based out of Chicago. So yeah, it was pretty cool to hear, a company like that being impressed with how we run the business and
just how we run our numbers and how we
underwrite our deals. That they, if you've got your lender saying that they're impressed with how we do things, they're talking about the underwriting and the risk that we're taking. They told James, and I heard this before too, that every deal they looked at from us, our numbers are more conservative than theirs. And usually lenders are conservative. And so what they did was, since we're always more conservative than they are on all the deals they looked at, they started offering us basically 100% financing is what we've been getting. So, which is really incredible. That's what you want to shoot for that if you can. And we can get into like the way the financials and stuff work in a different video, but the return that you can generate on investment in your operating business is a lot higher than what you can generate on the property itself. So if you can go get money at 10% interest or whatever, you want to get as much of that as you can, because the business itself, businesses generally generate an ROI like over 30%, 30, 40, 50% is pretty common for a small business. So if you can get 10% interest money on your properties and keep your operating money in your business, you want to do that. That's the way to run it.
Yeah. So, hey, 2026 is right around the corner. Again, I don't think we're too early on this one. This was just to kind of get us a little bit more excited about what we're going to be doing going into 2026. I'm really excited. Again, I'm sitting in our studio, Bigfoot's Den. Todd's Den. No, I think we're just going to, is it Todd's Den? So then
We probably got to ask the team whether we call it Bigfoot's Den or Todd's. I don't know which one's.
with Todd, is there an acronym for Todd?
We could come up with one.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. How do we
So
come up-
Todd is our VP of marketing for everybody that doesn't know. He's the Bigfoot VP of marketing.
Yeah. We're trying to do something where we're just a little more shock and awe of like, oh, that's cool. How do you? People always think Todd is a costume. It's all AI guys. It's all AI, and that's what we're trying to do. Oh, I know the biggest thing that I want to make sure before we end it is I'm super excited about next year because there's some of the marketing stuff that's coming down the line, especially with Todd and some of the other stuff with our singing our logo outside.
Singing the jingle.
Singing the jingle and then getting random Minnesotans to be part of our commercial singing the jingle. So
Yeah,
that's going to be that's the tease.
Yeah. One other cool thing I just thought of was for next year that we just booked our fishing trip to Canada, our first fly-in fishing trip. So I think we're going to invite. Todd lives there. It's his second home. But
that's right.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm looking forward to doing every year and inviting our franchisees and licensees to come with on. So those are cool things. You can have life.
Just
life
so you know,
people.
Knoxville might be in. I still gotta run that by them a little bit. So, or we're gonna plan another trip, and it's gonna be another fishing trip, and it's gonna be on this side. So
that would be fine. If they want to do a separate one, because this one's pretty extreme. For someone that's never been to Minnesota fishing, just to go up to Canada and fly into a lake is maybe a little bit more than they need. But
right.
Either way, we'll figure something out.
Right. Hey, again, thanks. I can't wait to do a couple live ones in our actual studio where I'm at right now. I think that's going to be pretty exciting. Thanks, everybody. Remember to like and subscribe.
You got to smash the subscribe. You can't just not like a little tap. You got to smash it.
Right.
It doesn't work.
Hey guys, thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe, and just remember, guys,
we made all the mistakes. You don't have to.
see you next time.